Kamusta? Ito, gising pa. Namamahay pa kasi. Hindi pa sanay matulog. Mag-isa. Simple ilang araw pa lang dito sa quarantine facilities. Ingat kayo dyan lahat.
It was important to embrace my culture and decide that this is something to be proud of.
I just always want to hold myself up and be a role model to them, and just always staying positive has always been my motto.
As long as I know who I'm in my heart and I continue to express my love for the culture, that to me overcomes that I don't speak language.
Hi, I am Joe and I'm 29. I'm Trace, I'm 26.
Support nyo po yung channel ko, Marinong Mananahi.
Jules, I'm 26.
I'm Nico and I'm 27. When the idea of auditioning for this film came about, it was just me, Jules, and Nico, and we were like, oh, we're already all Filipino. Why don't we find just more Filipino singers to fill the group, and we'll be a Filipino American group.
I think we wanted to showcase Filipino talent. We don't see a lot of for how talented Filipinos are, especially because we don't see like that represented in mainstream music. After the Sing Off, we went on a tour for the TV show, the Sing Off tour, with two of the other groups. Right after that tour, we got to perform for a ton of people that watch us on TV. 2 weeks after that, we were asked to be part of the video too, and we got to represent the Philippines there as well.
Ingat po kayo lahat dyan.
I'm also a teacher, and I teach elementary school through high school. And sometimes they get their attention, they go, I'm conducting, so sometimes I'm singing, and if I need them to do something, I go, and then some of them like, what are you doing? But I also have like one Filipino student who's like, I totally understand what you're doing.
I feel like keeping the plastic on new things.
Right? I bought the new iPhone, I'm broke now.
But I kept the plastic on for like a week because it was so funny.
I remember when I was younger, I would beg my mom to bring me to go on rice to school. And then I got to school and all the kids were like, what is that? So then I was like, I'm just going to bring pizza from now on.
One day, Filipino spaghetti, I think that's what takes you away. We're like, oh, you just have spaghetti to eat, like rice and steak. I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I really have no idea.
So, try ko lang mag-live kasi nga bago pa. Explore natin yung StreamYard.
Sensor. The 356 had become too slow. The aim was to build in cutting-edge technology without compromising the basic shape. Because the old model was very popular with customers. The criteria for the new model were formulated by Ferdinand Alexander Porsche, known as Bootsy.
It should be immediately obvious from the silhouette of the car that it's a Porsche. And I believe that if you think about design, you come to one conclusion. You can always add modifications, but you can only make them when the original has become obsolete. So you have to make the absolute best out of the minimum. Obsolete. So you have to make the absolute
At the time, Erwin Komenda was chief designer in bodywork development. Along with Bootsy Porsche, seen here in the middle of the picture, he was instrumental in the design. But exactly who can claim the credit for the design of the 911 remains a matter of contention.
It was not drawn by one single designer, but by a team. It will all have happened under the watchful eye of Mr. Komenda, who also drew the 356. But the head of that particular department was Bootsy Porsche. And if I work for a company, to put it somewhat coarsely, if in doubt, the boss is always right.
Try lang mag-live. Walang magawa sa buhay. Try lang mag-live. Walang magawa sa buhay. Try lang mag-live. Walang magawa sa buhay.
In 1963, Porsche presented its prototype at the International Motor Show in Frankfurt. With a 130 horsepower six-cylinder Boxer engine, it was originally called the 901. But Peugeot objected. The French car maker claimed the rights to the three-digit model number with a zero in the middle. So the zero became a one.
Dies ist Porsche. Herrlich anzusehen, eine wahre Freude. Von Stoßstange zu Stoßstange, jede Linie, jede Biegung, jede Platzierung und alle funktionellen Teile tragen zur Perfektion des Ganzen bei. Über 17 Jahre hingebungsvoller Arbeit, immer verbessern, ändern und suchen, stecken in einem Porsche, einem der weltbesten Automobile.
Nobody could have imagined how popular the model would become. More than 1 million 911s have rolled off the production lines in Stuttgart-Zuffenhausen since then, with no sign of a slowdown. It took the car time to get going at first, though. Customers were not impressed.
There was a simple reason. The last 356 SC had a list price of about 16,000 German marks. And the first 901 or 911 was about 30% more expensive.
So, Porsche developed a parallel model, the 912. It looked like a 911 but had the performance specs of a 356. Now the price was right and sales started catching up. The 911 could go its own way.
Silent. Antok.
It was popular with German TV detective series. The famous conductor Herbert von Karajan drove one. And the German rock legend Will Lindenberg was a 911 fan.
I bought a Porsche with the dough from my first gig at the Onkel Per in Hamburg in '73.
Even state premiers like Erwin Teufel tried to tame the beast.
The acceleration's fantastic.
Actor Fritz Wepper loved it.
It's like getting to know a new girl. As far as my collection goes, when it comes to cars, my technical bride, so to speak, is definitely the sexiest model.
Sorry, that's the first time I've stalled it.
11% of all 911s are bought by women. Claudia Kunkel drives a Carrera GTS as her company car. The fun of a Porsche has always been in the back, where the engine is. There's a sports mode button here, and then the engine sounds even better. Kunkel drives 40,000 kilometers a year. Her Carrera takes the headhunting agency lawyer from appointment to appointment in the blink of an eye. One of the nicest things in life is driving to Düsseldorf early in the morning. If I've got an appointment at 9, I'll hit the road at 6 and have the Autobahn to myself. That's when you can step on the gas and really see what it can do. The fact that this car can still give you a kick when you're doing 240, that's pure joy. Cologne, Monte Carlo, Marrakesh. She's taken part in rallies around the world in her other 911, a 1973 Carrera RS. She's picked up prizes along the way and gathered dust. I still have this red dust in the car, probably forever. Porsche Carrera RS. Only 500 men will ever drive this car. Yeah, right. The Carrera RS 2.7 is the flagship of the Porsche brand. One of the most desired sports cars in the world, a leading light of all race cars. Originally, it was supposed to be a limited edition.
This car was originally intended as a homologation model for motorsports. That means only 500 were supposed to be built. It was supposed to weigh under 1,000 kilos and be used mainly in motor racing. But Porsche underestimated one thing: demand from performance-oriented customers. Suddenly, there were people who wanted this RS, not for the racetrack, but for the road.
It's now so in demand that it's the most faked car in the world.
Certainly, it is down in part to how its value grows. An RS from the model year 1973 can cost up to €500,000 more than the other models. That's plenty of motive for forgery. And there are days, just depending on what I've got in front of me, that every second car I have to give an expert opinion on is a fake.
One striking feature is the rear spoiler, which made its debut on the RS Premier model, known among German fans as the Rump. Peter Falk was head of development and a test drive engineer for Porsche. He shares the credit for the Rump. First, the RS went through extensive testing in the wind tunnel. Threads of wool were attached to make air turbulence visible.
There are limits to what you can measure in a wind tunnel. You can do much more on the track. We tested in Hockenheim to find out how the top speed changes when you place the spoiler higher or lower. And would you believe it comes down to 10 or 15 millimeters that make all the difference in top speed or control. If you went too high with the spoiler, control was great, but top speed was considerably lower because the air resistance was too strong.
The RS was a car for advanced drivers, uncomfortable, loud, and expensive.
Originally, all 500 cars were built to weigh well under 1,000 kilos. You can do that by leaving out everything you don't really need. There was no sound insulation, no rust protection, no all-around interior lining. It